Welcome back, guys. It's Batman Day, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 figures I'd want before the Mcfarlane line goes away. In my last video, I talked about what figures would I need for me to actually quit a toy line. Mcfarlane's making it super easy for us because that license is going over to Mattel. So I think it's safe to say that whatever we get in the next few months is it. And I don't think that when the license goes over to Mattel, I'm going to continue collecting. I have most of my DC collection that I do not want to rebuy again. Even though I would want it to scale well with other collections, I'm going to call it quits there. So if the line was to go away tomorrow, these are the top 10 figures I would need before I can say I'm done. Now, this is going to be a very Batman heavy list, or Batman centric. Pretty much I can just correlate anything to Batman since he interacts with most DC characters, but it will be very Batman heavy. And for my number 10 pick is going to be a deep cut. It's the Neon Gang Leader from Batman Forever. This is a character that if you've been following the channel for a while, I have some love for. It is actually the inspiration for my logo. I love the neon colors. I love the aesthetic. I know a lot of people didn't like the Joel Schumacher bright toyetic kind of vibe he was going for, and they prefer the Tim Burton darker movies, but I did love the Joel Schumacher movies for what they were. And the Neon Gang Leader is, I think, the definition of toyetic. It's bright, it's cool looking, right? The skull with the different colors. I think that would have made a great action figure. So I think if that was going to be remade today, that it would look really cool. But then also, even if you didn't want to put it in your Batman display, that character could probably fit into some other displays. But it would have to be done right. They'd have to put the tassels on the arms and the legs. So I don't know how they would do it, but it's definitely never getting made. So if anyone is a big Mcfarlane fan and you're also a customizer, if you could let me know, what pieces would I put together to customize that particular figure? I've seen some WWE figures that might work. I think they're the same scale, but if you have any idea, let me know. My number 9 pick, I'm going with King Snake. He's a big hulking character, shirtless guy. He has a big snake tattoo on his chest, awesome mullet, and he's more of a Robin villain, and Robin is my favorite DC character. So there's a story arc when Tim Drake is becoming Robin. He actually goes to Japan to train with Lady Shiva, and the big bad there is King Snake. I think he'd be a super easy character to do, not much paint, little deco with the tattoo, but I think the look of his head sculpt with that crazy mullet, I think would be awesome. And it would just be nice to have some Robin-centric figures that would actually look pretty cool. Instead of just displaying Robin with the typical Batman villains, because Robin did have his own set of villains. So for my number 9, I'm going with King Snake. For my number 8 pick, I'm going to go with the Ventriloquist and Scarface. How have we not gotten this duo yet? And I feel like it has been done before. It's been done in the old animated series line, but to have that in a new look and, you know, give it that Mcfarlane treatment, I think those are characters we would desperately need. And if I had to guess, we would get the Ventriloquist, and then Mcfarlane would make the Scarface a slug figure, non-posable. Even that would be okay at this point. I mean, the line's dwindling down. I would just be happy with representation of those two on the shelf. I would hope that at least Scarface probably wouldn't come with a cigar, but maybe at least would come with a Tommy gun, something where he has a little bit of movement. I think that would be really awesome. For my number 7 pick, I'm going with Lawrence the Goon from Batman '89. And I know it could be done. It looks like the licensing for the likeness was already given for Mezco. They did those smaller figures, and he comes with the jacket, he comes with the radio. We've never gotten a figure of him in the old Toy Biz line. And since I think there's precedent for it being done, then that would be really cool to kind of round out those movie figures. And there's going to be a few more movie figures on this list, so hang tight. For my number 6 pick, I'm going with the Reaper. Earlier this year, we received a Batman Year 2. He comes with the holster, he comes with the pistol. but we don't have a villain for that character. So I'd say out of context, seeing Batman with the gun looks kind of weird, but I think if you pair him next to the Reaper, you can recreate that story on your shelf. Then I think that would look super awesome. And I'm not sure which inspired what, but the Reaper is kind of the comic version of the Phantasm, and I think the Phantasm was inspired from the Reaper. If I had a guess, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but they do have those double sickles. Batman does come with one of the sickles, so again, it's just kind of an empty space on my shelf having that Batman Year 2. It would just be nice to pair that Batman with the Reaper. For my number 5 pick, I'm going with the Toy Maker. Now, the Toy Maker originally started off as a Superman villain back in the early days, but then in the 90s, he became a villain for Robin. And he had a cool look. He wore this kind of cloak, purple outfit with a blue cloak, and his face sort of looked like Hugo Strange. So I'm sure if I wanted to kit bash it, I can, but it would just be nice to have a Toy Maker figure. And he can come with some cool accessories, maybe a teddy bear that's an explosive, a jack-in-the-box, some sort of toy that you knew he was going to use as some sort of death trap or weapon. So I think that would be really awesome, but again, I don't think we'll get him, but would be cool. This way you can put him with your Superman or your Robin. For my number 4 pick, I'm going with Bob the Goon. Now, we've gotten this figure before. It was one of 3 figures that came in the original Toy Biz line, and it was the Joker, Bob the Goon, and Batman, and they just remade him again in that Mezco line. So obviously his likeness rights are still going around. I think it's a possibility, and it would just be really nice, since we're getting those Batman Returns figures, to start filling out that Batman 89 collection before Mcfarlane rides off into the sunset. So I would love it with his black leather jacket or purple, and the logo that goes on it. I want to say it's purple. It's a purple jacket because the movie had a purple jacket. The figure had a black jacket. I guarantee Mcfarlane would do some sort of variant where the purple one, the movie accurate one, would be the chase, and then the black one would be the standard one. Either way, just to get him on the shelf, give him a hat, give him a knife, that's it. I would love that figure. And for my number 3 pick, I'm going with Bane from Batman and Robin the movie. How have we not gotten that figure to round out the Batman and Robin action figures? So it was really cool to get Mr. Freeze as a Build-A-Figure, but I think they missed the mark there. They really could have done a Bane Build-A-Figure. I think right now our only option, there's someone on eBay selling almost a statue to go into your Batman and Robin display just because Mcfarlane hasn't made it. That was the opportunity to make it. At this point, I don't think we are going to get it, but it would be really nice if we were able to get that character and round out that line. But until then, it's just going to be an empty space on my shelf. And for my number 2, it goes to Stephanie Brown. And I know we finally got a Stephanie Brown in a Batgirl outfit. I'm not familiar with that storyline with her face is exposed. There's 2 other versions of Stephanie Brown that I would have liked to have seen before the line goes away. Stephanie Brown, she had a run as Robin. Don't think we have that in the Mcfarlane line. I would have loved that. Put her on a smaller buck. I don't even know if he has a smaller female buck, but that one I think would have been really awesome. The main version of Stephanie Brown that I would have wanted was when she was the spoiler, and she was Tim Drake's main squeeze, and it was a really simple costume. Her face was blacked out. It had some blue highlights, and then she wore a purple cloak with some blue accents. Again, it's just a character that we've gotten before in the past, even in the old DC Mattel line, but she wasn't quite that look. So while Mcfarlane has given us a lot of great 90s looking characters, that's one that has been absent from any of the releases. So if we can get a spoiler Stephanie Brown, that would really complete my 90s collection. And the number 1 action figure I desperately need before the Mcfarlane line goes away is a Batman 89 Jack Nicholson Joker. I don't know what it's like to get the likeness rights for Jack Nicholson, but again, there's precedent. Mezco just did it in their 4-inch line, so I think we could pull it off before Mcfarlane switches over to Mattel. And we need that character. I think we have mostly all the characters from Batman and Robin. I think we have a pretty full display of Batman Forever, and now we are getting that awesome set for Batman Returns, even going as deep as giving us the Penguin Mobile with a variant of the Penguin inside, which I think is fantastic. So to have all these movies kind of filled out with their main villains and to not have Batman 89 with Joker would be kind of crappy. I mentioned Lawrence the Goon and Bob the Goon as wants higher on the tier list. I would definitely prioritize a Joker before I prioritize any of those characters. So if McFarlane can give us that Jack Nicholson Joker, I'd be extremely happy and can quit the line immediately. And that's all I got, folks. Those are the top 10 McFarlane Batman figures I would need before I can absolutely quit the collection. Again, he's making it easy for us since McFarlane's going over to Mattel, but I would really want those figures currently in my collection to go with my already existing McFarlane collection before I can call it quits. So let me know if I missed any characters that you want to see. Those are just the top 10 from my imagination. Again, some super deep cuts on there, but that's what I want. Anyways, hope you all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you next time.